First Kings 5, 1 through 13. 1 through 12. 5, 1 through 12. Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants to Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the room of his father, for Hiram was ever a lover of David. So he was he was friends with David. He helped David. David was his ally. And because of respect he had for David, he was going to go see David's son, King Solomon. Unlike many, they would go to Solomon because of his wisdom. This man simply went to Solomon because he is appointed after David. He went to Solomon simply because of who his father is. You know, we will get a lot of things given to us because of our Heavenly Father, but we'll also receive a lot of enemies because of our Heavenly Father. But there'll be some that come to us and see, well, he's a Christian. And they may want to see what we do because of that. Verse 2. Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, you know how that David my father could not build a house in the name of the Lord his God, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Lord put them under the soles of his feet. Now, we see that the Ark of the Covenant was always taken in battle. Not always, but it was taken in battle. It symbolized God's leadership in the battle. The Ark of the Covenant would eventually rest in the temple because peace was there. So it didn't need to be brought out of the temple because they wasn't fighting a war. The temple would be destroyed later because of war. The temple wasn't being built during the time of David because it would have been one of the first places they would have attacked and destroyed. Solomon's reign was the reign of peace. He didn't go to war. So this time, God would allow the temple to be built. And Solomon's going to his ally to help with this. God gives us allies to go to for help with things that he's wanting us to do. He doesn't expect us necessarily to do everything on our own. Some things we can do by ourselves. Others, he expects people to come with us. Verse 4. But now the Lord my God has given me rest on every side. There is neither adversary nor evil occurrence. So it's a time of peace. This was because of David's faith, David's righteousness. Now David fought wars because of his sin and never had peace because of his sin. But he also had faith in God and submitted to God even though there was troubles. So Solomon had peace because of this. And part of the purpose was for him to build a temple. If he wouldn't have took time to build the temple, Solomon probably would have had war. Verse 5, some top. Behold, I propose to build a house for the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spoke to David my father, saying, your son whom I will set on your throne in your room shall build a house for my name. So it was predicted that Solomon would build a temple, because David actually goes to one of the prophets talking earlier before this happens about building the temple, and then the prophet says the word of the Lord is that you can't build a temple because you are a warrior. Now David was a warrior unto the Lord, but David's son At that point, this prophecy is given of him building the temple. Verse 6. Now therefore command you that they should cut me cedar trees from Lebanon, and my servants shall be with you, with your servants, and I will give you hire for your servants according to all that you shall say. For you know that there is not among us any who knows how to cut timber like the Sidonians. So he's going to the experts and consult what he needs. Most buildings in Israel were not built out of wood, but the temple would have wood. Most were built out of stone and some type of mud and clay mixture. It was dry area, so this would harden. And this is what the houses were typically built out of. But the temple was going to be built out of something special. The best. They didn't have. And so he goes to the experts. Sometimes the experts may not be of the faith. We should always seek out godly counsel. But sometimes the Lord allows us to seek help from those that aren't in the right place. That way we can influence them as well. And Solomon was going to pay these servants. Now, he was going to give the money to Hiram. It was Hiram's place to give it to the servants. Whether he does or not isn't mentioned, because they were his servants. They were to do what he said. Verse 7. It happened when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly, and said, Blessed be the Lord this day, who has given to David a wise son over this great people. Solomon's first act as king is to set up a building of the temple for the Lord. Not to take more land, not to worry about other things, money. It's to build the temple. He's putting God in his proper place. High priority. First priority. Oftentimes we have an idea of putting God first priority. But the way we live it out, it don't happen. Verse 8. Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have heard the message which you have sent to me. I will do all your desire concerning timber of cedar, concerning timber of fir. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon to the sea, and I will make them into rafts to go by the sea. To place that you shall appoint me, and will cause them to be broken up, and you shall receive them, and you shall accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. So he's going to feed them, he's going to take care of them while they do this work. Solomon's agreed to do this. The kings agreed that we're going to give this timber to you. So there's a cooperation and effort there. As the church, oftentimes, we don't have this cooperation amongst ourselves. We do our individual thing and never really do anything cooperative. And when we do, we struggle with it. We don't come to an agreement to work. Verse 10. So Hiram gave Solomon timber of cedar and timber of fir according to all his desires. Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. So it's taken more than 1 year. He's giving him food each year. This is a lot of food to tend to for those who's doing this work. So they don't have to work the field to get their food. They're just being given their food. Verse 12. The Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him. And there was a peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they made a league together. So there was allies. There was an allyship between them. Solomon knew, okay, it's better to have a friend than an enemy. And Solomon gained that because of his wisdom.